Hello YouTube, I'm DoctorTactical, and the doctor will see you now. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Canik Mete MC9, and we'll talk about it in just a sec. This is a gun that a lot of people have asked to see a review on, especially since we recently did this video on concealed carry. This was brought up multiple times as one that should be looked at, and luckily for me, and which means luckily for you guys, the Country Club of Maryland got this in, and they lent it to me to play with. Now, as some of you may know from the past, they've lent me several guns, but usually those guns are just for me to play with and to look at and to introduce them to you, but I haven't been allowed to shoot them. This gun, I had the opportunity to shoot.
Stay open. Could be me riding the slide lock.
And this is actually going back to Gumtree when I'm done, and it's going to go into their rentals, and you can have an opportunity to shoot it there. And I recommend that you do take the opportunity to shoot any gun that you're considering buying, and it's nice that you're gonna, you'll have that opportunity with this. Okay, the Mete MC9. This is a hot gun right now. As I said, it's been highly requested. But some people like things just because they like them, and it doesn't have to make sense. For example, my friend Ron. I first met Ron at a bar. I saw him sitting there by himself drinking 3 beers. Had 3 beers in front of him, and he's just sipping one, then the other, then the other. And I'm watching this, and I finally walk over to the guy. I'm like, "Hi, I'm DoctorTactical. What are you doing?" And he introduced himself, a nice guy. He said, I just sitting here drinking beer. I just finished work. I said, and said his name's Ron. I said, Ron, yeah, I don't want to talk down to the guy, but I'm trying to explain to him the logic here. I said, you don't drink 3 beers like that. You drink 1 beer, and then you drink another, and then you drink the other. That way, you don't waste all the the gases. You can because from the second the tap pours it or the bottle's open, you start losing the gas. So drink one, then go to the next, go to the next. And he heard me, and he said, I get that. He said, but the problem is, this is a tradition. He said, I used to, my brothers and I, used to go, I have 2 brothers, after work, and we would all get a beer. And we'd sit together and, each drink our beer. We've all moved to different areas on the globe, and we still go out and we order 3 beers. And it's kind of like just thinking of my brothers having these 3 beers here. And I'm thinking, that really doesn't make sense, but I get it. There's an emotional connection there, and that's why he's doing it. In fact, one day I came in and I saw him drinking 2 beers, and I got really choked up. I was upset, and I went up to him. I said, it took me a while. I waited a minute before going up. I said, I am so sorry. He's like, why? I said, well, I see you're only drinking 2 beers. He's like, oh, no. Everybody's fine. Nothing bad happened. He said, my wife's giving me crap because I've been drinking a lot. So I had to quit drinking. Then he drinks a beer. I'm like, yeah, you just drank. He's like, well, I didn't say my brothers had to quit. And that, my friends, is why you need to hit that subscribe button and get this channel out there, because people need to know about it. All right, back to the Mete MC9. Let's first take a look at the unboxing. It's not really an unboxing, and I don't normally care about the box, but this is kind of an interesting box and what it contains. And this also may be one of the smallest micro compact. Well, I can't say micro compact. That's the most micro guns I've ever come across. All right, so here is the box that it comes in. Let's open this up. It's tight because it's bulging with stuff. All right, And here you go. I tell you, this is micro on a whole nother level. Canik really got it right when it came to micro, didn't they? Well, clearly I'm kidding, because this has a red tip, so nobody accidentally thinks that this is an actual gun. Anyway, this is a toolkit. Comes with like a punch, it comes with some cleaning tools, and comes with a couple back straps. And interestingly, this one comes with a red dot, which I will be putting on later. Let's just take a look at that. So this is the Canik. Can't tell how well that's focusing, but we'll take a good look at that in a few. I'm just going to leave that out for right now. Get the bag out with it. This comes with a holster, which is kind of nice. The holster's not particularly nice, but it's nice that they give you a holster. And if you carry it at 3 o'clock, I guess this will be helpful, because this is pretty much set up for right-handed 3 o'clock. The problem is that there's not a lot of holsters available for this gun as of yet, so it's a good thing they do give you a holster. The rest of the stuff in here is some tools, a battery, and some Loctited screws for the optic, some type of lock, and a flag for the chamber. A pinky extension for the magazine. Comes with 2 magazines. Let's look at that. Comes with, this is a 12-round base magazine, and then it has a 15-round sort of extended magazine with the speed loader, which we'll just leave that in here too. And let's talk about this gun. So now we've seen the unboxing, let's get to the gun. Oh, by the way, check it out. We now have DoctorTactical merch. Just look here at DoctorTactical.com. Check it out. All right, on to the gun. The MC9 is a really nice little package. As you know from the previous video that we did on concealment guns, we sort of categorized everything from a size category, from a full size to a compact to a subcompact to a micro. And the micro that I sort of crowned the biggest of all micros is the SIG P365. This gun holds 10 with a flush magazine, and what makes it a micro, in my definition of a micro, is I can put this in a carry, in my pocket, and carry it, and not really notice it. It's not cumbersome. My pants aren't hanging over to the side, and it's not obvious. It's not being stuffed into my pocket. It fits in my pocket. And that is how I look at a micro. Anything that goes beyond that, I can put other things in my pocket, but I know they're there, and I don't consider them micros. This is as big as I'm comfortable going. Anything bigger than this, or even this with a slightly longer magazine, is over the top. It's now in the subcompact category. Now, the Canik has been demonstrated by many as a micro. Now, all the guns on here, by the way, have been empty, safety checked, and cleared. So, anyway, let's look at this. So here we have the Canik, the MC9. Now, here we have the SIG P365. So for starters, clearly the Meta here is a little bit longer. It's a little bit wider. And it's a little bit taller. So now, granted, the with the flush magazine, the MC9 holds 12 rounds, while the P365 holds 10. So it's 2 more rounds, but that 2 more rounds kicked it out of that category. So it's a little bit larger in all categories. Now, I'm a big fan of the P365 XL. I love that gun. I never carry it because the macro came out, and I took it and I put the chassis of the XL into the macro. So basically I had no desire to have the comp in front. I wanted the full length of the magazine. I'm sorry, a full length of the barrel. And I wanted to have a flush fit on the 17 round magazine. Now that 17 round magazine can go into the P365 and it can go into the P365 XL. It just, fits nicer or more flush and is designed for the module for the macro. But I don't consider this even a subcompact. This is, so you're going, it's not a micro, it's not a subcompact. This is what I would consider a compact. You're pretty much getting into the realm of a Glock 19 here. It's smaller in a lot of dimensions, but it also holds 17 versus the 15. Now, when I look at this, and do remember that the Canik comes with 2 magazines. One is 12, one is 15. Also, a lot of other Canik magazines do fit into this. So looking at these side by side, the XL slide is a little bit longer, but it's actually pretty much the same. But as you guys know from previous videos, I count the beaver tail. The beaver tail absolutely counts. So when you pull this back and even it up, it's a little bit bigger, longer. And again, the SIG macro is a little bit taller than the MC9. Now it holds 17 versus the 12, but still that counts. Now, as let's talk about the trigger. That's the big thing on the on Caniks. Everybody raves about what a great job they did copying Walther's trigger, and they did. They did a beautiful job copying it. And it's very nice. Now, the little dongle that it has for the safety on the trigger, the drop safety there, I don't know how well that's showing up, but it's really nicely placed, and it's fairly flush with the trigger itself. So when you rack it, you've got a little take up, then you've got a little bit of creep, then you've got a crisp break. And the reset is really kind of where it really shines. It's very short, very audible, very tactile, and it's right on the wall at that point. There really is no additional creep once you've hit that reset. And that is nice. Also, this gun has a indicator that the hammer's back. I see people referring to that as a chamber indicator. That's not a chamber indicator. That doesn't tell you whether there's a round in there or not. It simply tells you that the trigger is hot and ready to fire. Whether or not there's a round in the chamber or not, I guess this little thing up here tells you. As many of you know, I have commented on this. This is more of a copy off of the Humble Marksman, because he pointed out, and he's absolutely right, that anything that indicates from the top is usually a little bit problematic, especially when they make those peepholes, because what happens is gases come up, and if you're shooting a red dot, you get debris on the red dot, and that's something to keep in mind. All right, so the trigger, I'm a fan. The ergonomics of the gun, I'm a fan. It's a subcompact, not a micro. The sights. So we have just a white dot in the front, plain white dot, and we have a blackout in the back, and the blackouts have anti-glare serrations on them, which is nice. I prefer this. I have not yet put on the optic that came with it, but I am planning on doing that, because that's how I think Country Club would like to get this back. So overall, my opinion, I like it. I have to point out one other thing, though. I've shot probably about 150 rounds through this gun, and I had 0 issues. I had other people sort of try it while I was at the range. Everybody enjoyed it. It did, kick around, because it's a smaller gun with a, not a lot of grip to get a hold of, and it's a 9mm, but nothing crazy. it shot nicely. I have seen a lot of things out there on YouTube, and we all know that only the best of the best are, come out on YouTube. And I've seen where once this gets to about 1,500 rounds or so, they were having some issues with the gun going back into battery. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up, just because it's one of the things while researching the gun that I came across. But I don't think Gundry wanted me putting that kind of number of rounds through it yet. But I will tell you this. As a range gun, I am pretty sure this gun's going to get a ton of rounds through it. And I will talk to the guys there, and I'm curious to hear their report back, because they will have the opportunity to see how this fares after thousands and thousands of rounds. And anything I find out, I will share with you all. Well, that's it. That's the review. Thank you all for watching. Please do hit the like and subscribe. It's very helpful. And please comment. I am always interested to hear what you guys are thinking of these and what you guys would like to see in the future. Comparisons or what have you. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Tactical. Dr. Tactical, out.